Welcome, everybody. So if you would please mute yourself for now and until the end, and we'll avoid strange things happening. Um, Welcome, and this class now has some new people in it, both live and who are viewing the YouTube. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things about what this is. Many of you know this, but Qigong is very ancient. It's really known as the way of nature, and it originated in Asia. And it is very much a part of the Taoist tradition, and because of that, the Zen Buddhist tradition. That is the Buddhist tradition in Southeast Asia, Japan, Korea, and China. Qigong has many branches. Tai Chi, which is probably better known, is for self-defense. It's one of the manifestations of Qigong. So Qigong is like the trunk, and then there are different manifestations which are like the tree. So self-defense, Tai Chi, is one of them. General wellness, flexibility, and longevity is another one. And healing, Qi healing, which includes acupuncture, acupressure, diet, herbology, basically all the Chinese healing arts. And what's sometimes called Shengong, which is spiritual Qigong. This particular breathing earth Qigong is one of many variations of Qigong that have arisen over all these thousands of years. And this particular one that we're doing together tonight is in the general health and wellness, flexibility, and longevity, and definitely in the spiritual Qigong, the path to awakening. And that's allied with the Buddha Dharma as well. So I incorporate the teachings of the Buddha as well as the Taoist teachings and practices. And then for breathing earth Qigong, so we do standing, and we do postures, and we do movements, and we do sitting, and we do external Qigong, and we do internal Qigong. So Qigong means something like universal life force energy cultivation. So Qi is something like the soul, or the world soul, or the life in all things. The universal life force energy is the definition of Qi that I like the best. And Gong has to do with cultivation. So that means, for us, that means feeling the Qi, identifying the Qi, and moving with the Qi in order to augment it and control it and help it to flow and so on. So that's Qigong. Nigong is moving Qi internally in the body. And we're going to be doing some Nigong tonight. It's very much a part of the healing aspect of Qigong, but the way that it's presented here, it has a lot to do with meditation, so sitting meditation of any kind. Okay, so that's sort of where we're coming from. We'll begin this and all the classes with standing and with movement, and then as the time goes on, we'll become more and more still. And then at some point we'll get our stool or a cushion or our chair, so you want to have that available, and we'll take the practice into sitting. Qigong is practiced sitting a lot. And one of my teachers, actually more than one of my teachers, says that in the little bit more advanced stages, there's very little movement in Qigong, very little physical movement. So Some teachers will say this is a warm-up and we begin the class with warm-ups, and I do not say that. Everything we're doing here in this class is Qigong. whatever it is, we're not getting ready to do it sometime in the future. We're doing it right now. And you can't do it wrong unless you're hurting yourself. Okay? So don't do anything that hurts. If you're doing something that hurts, you're doing it wrong. Otherwise, you're doing great. I promise. Okay, we are transitioning here from whatever we were doing or being before we came into this into this practice. So the deepest practices, I think, in meditation, in Buddhist meditation, have to do with stillness and presence. And so as we're standing, we're practicing stillness and presence. Okay, and because Taoism is very much based on the co-arising of opposites, within stillness there's movement. So there's movement within our bodies. The lungs, the heart, and so on. And due to the presence of life force energy, there's movement in every cell of the body. So as we're standing, we're evoking the presence of stillness. And as the stillness settles in, we can become more aware of the movement. Okay, there are many visualization practices, and one of them in this posture can be to, at the out-breath, move the attention down the body and sort of pretend to grow roots into the ground. So we imagine it and we feel, what would it be like if we were a tree and we had roots going deep down into the earth? The roots that are part of our body. Okay, so that's the down breath or the out breath. And the in breath or the up breath lifts us up, sort of stretches us up a little bit. And then the out breath relaxes and sort of increases the connection down into physicality. The in breath sort of goes up, connects us to the stars, the light. And the out breath goes down deep into the ground. Even if you're on the 5th floor of a building, it doesn't matter. Because it's what it is physicality, materiality. It connects us to form. Okay. So as we become more upright, we become more relaxed. So as the in-breath sort of draws us up a little bit, with the out-breath, we can just let go. And upright and relaxed creates openness. The chest is open, the belly is free. The body is expanding and contracting. And the mind is open. We're open to the presence of this life force energy. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead now and we'll orient ourselves to our surroundings. So this is bowing to the 7 directions. 7 directions are north, south, east, west, up, down, and within. So we'll start with the east. Okay, and let's bow to the east. And then turning right, and we bow to the south. And to the west. And to the north. And back to your facing your screen. And now we're going to go up. So we start by going down. So dip the knees and then push up, and then the hands go up, 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 up. Stretch, extend your senses way up. Just like the roots going down, this goes way up. So that's above. And then circle the hands. And then we're going to go below. So bending the waist and the knees. Below. And then as we come back up, then the hands cover the belly and the chest. And this, we'll be focusing on this tonight. So in Chinese, these are the dantians. They're centers of qi. So the lower dantian is below the navel and in the center of the body. And the lower dantian is the conduit for life force energy that comes up from the earth. And through time from our ancestors. This is very basic. The middle dantian, the heart, the qi is more refined. And this is the center of our connection to the present world, our center of relationships. And it's also the doorway to the higher realms. Okay, and then the upper dantian is the head, the third eye, or the brain in that area. These are areas. And this is the connection to boundlessness, or formlessness. So this is even more refined. So forms in the upper dantian are thoughts. Forms in the lower dantian is like food. So these are the 3 dantians. There are more. If you're a yogi and you're very familiar with the 7 chakras, that's fine. I have no quarrel with the 7 chakras. I love them all. The main thing, though, here is that, we can just let our hands down, is that when we're meditating, when we're standing or sitting, these 3 dantians are aligned. Okay? They're aligned left to right, they're aligned front to back, and they're aligned vertically. They're stacked on top of each other. That's and that would be true of the chakra system as well. Okay, so in order to have these aligned, we want to maybe open the belly a little, that is, arch the lower back just a little. And then let the shoulders go back just a touch. So the chest is open. And then most of us need to just drop our chin a little bit. So there's like an uplift at the back of the head, or there's a rope that's gently pulling up the crown of the head. And when we do those 3 things, we can feel a point where they're lined up, and the breath comes very easily, and it's comfortable to be in this alert posture. When they're lined up, maybe you take a deeper breath, just naturally. And the body just feels aligned. Okay? Okay, so that's where we'll be going. But for now, let's go ahead and put our attention at the crown of the head, and do a few back washes. Let the chin fold in, shoulders roll forward. Now we're putting our attention on the spine, opening it up as it goes down, as we go down. And then just hang comfortably. You can turn a little left and right, sort of stretch your sides if you like. But just allowing the spine to be very open. Okay, and now let's come up together. So we're reversing the process, bringing our attention up the spine. Up, up, up. Then as we get up to the neck and the head begins to come up, the hands start, and we're pointing to the center line of the body. All the way up, continuing. Okay, the eyes follow the hands. We get to the very top, we point up. Eyes are looking up. And then the hands begin to come down. This is tree and spring. Eyes are moving down. Okay. Then we point to the earth. And now in breath, point to the body. Breathe normally. Out breath coming down. And one more. Okay, very good. Stand for a moment. Now attention to the crown again, and we'll do 3. Do the second back wash. All right, now this time, as the hands come up, they're pointing to the dantians. So they light up. So the bottom one, the lower dantian, then the chest lights up, and the neck, then the head lights up, and then we point to, there's another dantian above the body, and the stars. Okay, one. We're pointing to the earth. The roots are actually, there's a dantian in the earth. So that one, lower dantian, lights up the middle, lights up the brain, out into the universe. Okay, one more. In breath. All right, and last backwash. Okay, and just take a moment and notice. This is, noticing is another word for mindfulness. And just notice, are your dantians lined up? Can you feel? If not, that's fine. Just make a little adjustment. Just refresh the posture. And when they're lined up, they're also in line with the roots down into the earth, the center of the earth. And they're lined up with the ancients used to say they're lined up with the North Star. Okay, very good. Go ahead and break your stance. All right. Now, let's start with your dominant hand and just bring it out in front and point down. And we're pointing down with kind of these three middle fingers, particularly the longest one. Pointing down. Now, we're just going to lift the hand and we're going to point to the body. Okay? And we're going to move our attention up inside the body where we're pointing. Okay? And then we're going to point out the top of the head, point to the stars. And then we go down the front, and our attention goes down the front of the body or the center of the body. Point to the earth. Okay, in breath, pointing. And this can be also, you can feel this on the spine, the front of the spine. And then out breath going down. Okay, one more time. I'm going to use the eyes. So if we're pointing down, the eyes are looking down. But the eyes are looking inside the body. And we can do this. The eyes are following where the finger's pointing and moving up inside the body, and you can feel it. They're moving, moving, and then they move then out the top, and then the eyes move down inside the body to the front. So we're making a big loop. Okay, now let's use the other hand. Same thing. Start with an in-breath. Keep the attention inside the body. Okay, now let's alternate hands. So now the dominant hand, in breath. Okay, and then switch. Okay, now let's do both. And when the hand is pointing up, one's pointing up, one's pointing down. Now they both go. Okay, and then you can power this, dipping the knees. In breath, come up. Out breath, go down. So the eyes can follow one hand, or they can follow both, whatever you like, or they can remain neutral. So the rising and falling of the body follows the breath. Okay, and then as a hand passes your face, you might want to try just smiling a little bit. The smile doesn't mean that everything in the world is wonderful. It just means that in this very moment, everything is okay. Just for a moment. Let's do a couple more. Okay, now let's reduce the movements. Till it's just the hands, and moving with the breath. Now they're just moving between the lower and the middle dantian. They're still making that sort of circuit. They're just moving a little bit. Okay, and now they reduce. And they end up with one pointing up and one pointing down. The down one is opposite the lower dantian, the up one opposite the middle. Okay, now let's dip the knees, come up, and now let's send one hand up, one hand down, and stretch, and we're touching into the roots, and we're extending out beyond the upper hand. Okay, and now sink again, bring together. Okay, and then left and right. Repeat. All right, let's just do one more pair. Put a little twist, if you like. And then we're back. And so then we place the hands now in front of the body. So the chi is within the body and radiates all around the body. The hands are very, very sensitive. So perhaps you can sense or imagine a connection between the bubbling well in the hand, right in the middle, and the dantians. All right, let's go into cloud hands. I just turn the hands so they face. And whichever hand is on top, we're going to turn that way. We're going to switch the hands. And then we're not moving the arms or hands, just the waist. Turn, switch. Turn. Keeping the connection between the hands. Sink down. Rise up. The hands are staying right in front of the center line of the body. The upper becomes lower. Left becomes right. In breath becomes out breath. This is wave hands through clouds. The clouds are the chi that's all around us. And chi is conscious. It's consciousness. Just enjoy this movement. Don't worry about doing it right. Move with the breath. Smile a little bit. All right, now let's reduce the movements little by little. Until you're just moving the hands again, the middle and lower dantians. Okay, and then we finish. And now one hand, it doesn't matter which one. One hand in front of the heart, the other in front of the belly. You can sense the breath. You can sense the belly expand, the chest expand. Let the hands move away from the body a little. and then back. And the whole body is expanding and relaxing. Expanding in all directions, relaxing. Expanding to the front, the back, the sides, up and down. Okay, and let's reduce the breathing, make it more fine. Notice any sensations in the hands or in the body. Check to see if the alignment is there. Once you touch into the alignment, the breath will probably deepen. Okay, you can use your eyes, extend the attention down into the roots, down into the earth by looking down. And by looking up, out the top of the head, extending out into the universe. And this is all one body. And it's all conscious. Okay, let's go ahead and return to standing. Okay, and now let's transition into sitting. So you bring up your stool or cushion. Okay, and just placing your hands in your lap. Move over a little. And see if you can find the lower dantian, that place that's in the middle of the body, a little below the navel. And look down and in. This is the point where the breath begins, the in-breath. Okay, and now let's move our attention up the middle of the body to the heart area. See if you can find kind of the area where the chest begins to expand. The middle dantian. And then just sort of, you can shift the left and right a little. Just see if these two are lined up. You may want to arch the back a touch. You may want to draw your shoulders back a little, whatever you need to do. But just have a sense that they're aligned and that they're in harmony. So the in-breath moves the belly and the chest together. It also expands out the back. Okay, and when you sort of feel that that feels pretty good, and the next in-breath, let's bring our hands up and place them on the sides of our head very gently. And now let's just, for the next in-breath, just lift just slightly and place the head right on top of the neck vertebrae. It's very gently. You may have to do it a couple times. It's like you lift and just gently set it on the top of the neck. The chin will fall a little. And you can, once you feel you have it or nearly, you sort of massage the sides of the head just so that it feels it's just balanced. Okay. Okay, and then so let it go and drop the hands into the lap. Tuck the chin. Just check that the three dantians are lined up and you can feel it. Also, the crown of the head is lined up with the perineum, and the roots in the ground are lined up with the extension sort of the tree up into the universe. Okay, very good. When there's alignment, then the energy moves freely. And there's spaciousness, there's a sense of openness and freedom. Right here in this body. All right, let's go ahead and place both hands on the lower dantian. Place one hand over the other so that the palms are lined up, and just sort of cradle your lower dantian. This is called embracing the womb. If you have a womb, that's fine. And if you don't, you have a navel, which connects to the womb of your mother. All right, we can feel the warmth of the hands on each other and on the belly, and moving the attention inside the middle of the body. And let's make circles, small circles with the two hands. Just move them together, not lifting them off, still in contact. Just making small circles. And this is called stirring the pot, or stirring the kettle. As we're doing this on the outside, we can feel or imagine that the dantian in the middle, which is sort of a sphere of light energy, is rotating, it's moving, it's circling. But there's movement there with the hands. So stirring it up, enlivening it, expanding it. Okay, and let's reduce the movements, come into stillness, relax the shoulders. And now maybe you have a sense of movement there. Maybe it's movement of the breath, or maybe it's movement of the heartbeat, or maybe it's a very, very rapid kind of pulsation, very rapid. And there's also, of course, the heat, the warmth. That makes movement too. Okay, and let's go ahead and make these small circles again. This revs it up a little more, gets it moving. Okay, kind of winding it up. Okay, and then reduce, and then be still, let it go on its own. It's moving now. All right, very good. And now let's move one hand up to the middle dantian, keeping the other one on the lower. Put it right on the body. And now let's just make a circle. We're not lifting the hand. Just make a small circle with your palm. Stirring the stirring the pot, enlivening this energy that's in the heart and the lungs and the chest. Okay, and now move both hands together, just a little bit. Okay, and then reduce the movements and feel. Okay. Now let the hands go back into the lap. And now let's use the upper body and make circles. We're going to make increasingly bigger circles, moving around the perineum. And let go of the chin, let go of the shoulders. We're making a circle. Just relax, let your head go. Just loosen the whole torso. It's very relaxed. And very good. Just should feel good. Okay, and let's make this smaller and smaller. So we're spiraling in, sort of like water going down a drain. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Spiraling in. So stillness. All right, now with the next in-breath, we're going to extend the spine a little, drop the chin. And this is as if there's a slinky. Remember that old toy, the slinky? There's a slinky from the perineum up to the heart, and we're going to stretch it and expand it way out. So there's this big spiral. The point of it's down on the perineum, the bottom, or the lower dantian, and it expands out all around the body. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger up into the universe. It gets very vast. And then when you're ready, you can let the image go. Okay, the name of this is the sky cone. Okay, let's bring our attention down into the lower dantian. And then extend another similar kind of cone down into the earth. The roots are there, extending down into the earth. And then these two cones just meld just into one sort of huge column. It's just a column. And the column connects back all the way back to the Big Bang at the bottom and into timelessness at the top. All right, and bringing all this in, let's use the eyes and remember the movement that we did with the hands. So starting down at the bottom. So in breath, we're going to go up the spine. to the top of the head, out breath, down. In breath, up. Top of the head all the way down, front of the body down to the perineum. In breath, up the spine. Out breath, down. And we're circulating the chi in the body and mingling the cosmic chi or energy with the earth chi. Okay, and let's let that go. And now we'll finish just by breathing in and breathing in through the pores of the skin from all directions, lighting up the torso. Breathing out through the pores of the skin in all directions. Let's reduce the breaths. And just be the presence in this sitting body. And then slowly you can move a little bit, move the torso, move the shoulders, whatever you want to. Move a little bit. Open your eyes completely. Okay. And just notice the posture. Okay. And now if you have glasses, you take them off. And we'll go ahead and all together we'll clap one time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Rub your hands, make heat. Place the heels of the hands in the eye sockets. Make little circles. And comb back the hair with your fingernails. And smooth down the face. Massage the ears. Right, and now make loose fists and tap your kidneys. Bend your elbows, tap your kidneys. And massage your kidneys. Okay, well, thank you for your practice. It's been a joy as always. If you'd like to stay, we'll have questions and comments. But before you go, I just want to announce I'm going to be offering 2 4-hour half-day Qigong retreats, virtual retreats, on consecutive weeks, probably on Saturdays. And I'm thinking of April the 3rd and 10th, if that's possible. It depends on a few things, mainly when I can get my my vaccination and when I'm going to be sick. But that will be happening because there's just so many practices, and we can get pretty far in an hour, but in 4 hours with a week in between and then 4 hours again, it will make a huge difference in your practice. So that will be happening. And I will now stop the recording.